again in any of those games.
I'm back. This is an updated video for the NFL 2019-2020 season. You've seen us in Mississippi. You've seen us in Atlantic City. You've seen us in Las Vegas, and you're seeing us in Las Vegas again. What's the correlation? The correlation is every time I meet him, he's doing a seminar teaching people how to, what I like to call air golf, throw the dice. I came up with that.
It is. When we meet, it's always because I'm doing a seminar. You can get there and meet me, but I travel all the time.
Exactly.
I mean, everywhere I'm going, I'm laying some action somewhere. I was in New York City last week. And what I did in New York City was I met all my buddies, my old kumbazis, for saying Italian, to find out exactly
Listen, I got to interrupt you. Some guy came up and recognized him, and he said, "Are you Italian?" And we just looked at each other, and go, "Dominic Lorigio, are you Italian?" So now, not only does he teach people how to play craps, not only does he give out selections to the largest sports bettors in the world, he also gives recommendations at the best Italian restaurants in Las Vegas. We're not going to give him here on this video. You have to actually, maybe we'll just sell that as well.
We could.
All right, so go ahead.
But anyway, so I'm meeting my old buddies, bookmakers.
Right.
Okay, because I want to keep it going so that I know where all the heavy action is coming down. And, just to keep those things going, just to keep those acquaintances and those friends, because, I see them maybe once every year, once every year and a half. So I'm traveling all over the place. And my thing has always been, because of the degrees, because of the math background, the degrees in math, the degrees in physics, biology, everything has to be based in some sort of a mathematical, statistical way of analyzing all these games. And that's where I think my forte is. My forte is really looking at underdog plays, looking at games where the bookmaker just, I think, has the wrong lines going on. And we can get a play that is a good underdog play, and we can put we can make it as a money line play, in football in particular, with some of the parlays that I give out, where, it's a really, really big hit when it happens. And it's not bullshit. What really pisses me off when I see these other videos out there and these young kids out there. I'm 66 years old.
I'm 46. You only got 20 years.
I got 20 years on you. 20 years is a lot. It's a lot of experience. It gets me crazy seeing some of these young punks who want to show you a ticket. Hey, I bet 2,000 on this game. I bet 10 grand on that. This means nothing to me. It absolutely. I piss on $10,000, really. So, anybody that's following these other guys and listening to them, they're young guys. They're younger than you are, man. They're 30 years old. They got none of the credibility that I have. They haven't had the shows done about them. History Channel show done about them. Eighth best gambler of all time. Cigar Aficionado, Playboy, New York Times. I can go on and on and on. The documentaries that have been written about them. Nobody has this type of credibility.
Right.
And I'm not just saying it to blow my own horn, but I want to make these people some money. Since I'm banned at 75% of the casinos we're sitting in Bellagio right now. I can't play. I can't go anywhere. I can't sit at a freaking double diamond machine and play here at Bellagio. They banned me a year and a half ago. Now, write to any one of these other touts that are out there, any one of these other guys that are out there, ask them if they've ever been banned. This is legitimate stuff. Anyway.
Exactly. So again, if you made your way to the website and you bought a daily pick package or you bought a month pick package, like I said years ago and I'll say now, look, the reality is, let me ask you something while we're doing this video, because we like to keep it real. What is it with you're a New Yorker?
Yeah.
I'm a New Yorker by way of my mother from Brooklyn, from Sheepshead Bay.
Yeah, Sheepshead Bay.
What is it with the people here? Like, you see, we're doing a video, and they just they don't care. They can walk around.
Hey, man, I did that yesterday. I came to Bellagio yesterday, and people are taking pictures at the display they do right by the cafe.
Exactly.
I want to bomb every one of them. I said, get the fuck out of my way. I just walk right by the camera, and when I'm walking by, I slow right down.
You slow
right down.
It's a slow roll.
It just pisses me off that they are in their own little world taking pictures, and I gotta wait for them. Hey, you're not that pretty. If you were pretty, maybe I'm going to sit there and wait. Exactly. But I'm not going to do it.
So I do want to ask you this, because we're coming around the stretch in sport and race race terminology in terms of the MLB season.
Yeah.
People always ask, when they're getting access to your VIP plays. I realize you have a network of people using math, and you're looking to have everybody correlate on the same games. Do you find that there's an edge? Because I've met you in different seasons: football season, basketball season, baseball season. Is there really an edge to you on any sport, or is it just like it's all math? It doesn't matter.
I always say to people when they ask me about blackjack and craps, put a gun to my head, what game would you really want to play? Because really my name was made in craps when it comes to casino games. Gun to my head, I want to play blackjack. Why? Because I love cards. Now, gun to my head, I love football. And I played it, I love it. I get all this data. You can get so much data with baseball, MLB, that is phenomenal.
Correct.
If you do your work right, you're going to pick winners, and we do. We pick winners. But football is a little different story there, because there's a lot of emotion in that game. And that's where the inside information that I'm getting from my people that I know here in Vegas, people that I know in every city, like you in Baltimore.
Right.
The information you give me, the information I'm getting from my buddy up in
I can
Seattle.
Listen, everybody knows the information I gave you. Bet against the Orioles.
That's true. This year, you made a fortune.
Right.
But, you in Baltimore, my buddy up in Seattle, he's really works part-time for the Seattle Mariners. He got some really heavy influence. I know what's going on up there. I've got another buddy down in Florida that is really involved in the Tampa Bay area. This is the type of information that I'm getting. And then I put I look at the statistics, looking at what's going on with the game and how they've done this year, this week or last week versus what they're going to do this week. But then I try to analyze it emotionally. And again, that's where I think my forte is picking those prime picks that are contrarian to what the public wants. And that's the way you win, and that's the way you can beat this game. When you can look at a game and know that the numbers should be, -3, and the line is coming in at whatever, much higher number. When you can see that sort of thing happening, and you can make the right selection on it, that's when you become a winner. And that's what Vegas domination is all about.
Right. So again, like I said, guys, if you're looking to access the VIP plays, the same games he actually plays at the window. I mean, look, he can pan around. We're not. This is not a stage green screen. We are at the Bellagio, and the reality is that everybody, if there's 100 bettors that bet football, you'll agree on this, 70 of them bet basketball, 10 of them bet baseball.
Yeah.
So obviously what happens is, even if you're successful all year round, you get 90% of the flourish of activity of people calling and inquiring is going to be in football, because they, like you, love football.
But it's a shame too, because if you're with us for the whole year, if you get our year package or whatever, you really don't have to do anything. You just go up in the VIP section, you look at the picks, call your bookmaker up, go online, make the bets, and collect your money at the end of the week. It's it really amazes me. Because that happens, obviously. Our business gets bigger in football because everybody bets football. But man, forgetting about baseball, forgetting about NBA, WNBA, CFL. When you're with somebody like
UFC up in Summerlin,
exactly.
Headquarters.
When you're with somebody like me, who's looking at every game, every team, every sport there is, and you don't have to do anything. I mean, you don't have to know anything. All you got to do is say, hey, this guy's been doing it for almost 50 years now. He's been a winner. He's got the credibility. I'm just going to bet his games. And if you bet my games, you're going to be a winner at the end of the week.
So look, guys, it's simple. If you have a realistic goal, and that, we can just, since you're a crap player and you're a blackjack player, we can end this video on a lot of people want to be a VIP member. But now let's talk about the reality of what would you say is a legitimate minimum bankroll, not for purchasing the VIP service. You can always negotiate that with me or one of my staff. He's not going to take your call unless you're getting on a plane with $500,000.
Yeah, right.
But what would you say to the guy watching this video, realistic bankroll for betting, separate from the fee of purchasing the access to the VIP, that you want to see a guy who's a VIP member? You don't want a guy to pay me 10 grand for your VIP place, and he has an $800 bank.
No.
So I mean, like, tell these guys, because again, like you said, you'll piss on 10,000.
Right.
So you don't need to like sell. You don't want people that really can't afford to be involved at this level.
No.
What would you say in this age of legalized sports wagering? Because again, even though there's been casinos all around the country, and you're traveling and you're doing seminars for craps, obviously now we have 17 of those states that took on sports
That's true,
wagering.
man.
So. What would you say to that guy watching this for the first time? He has these dreams of making an extra 6 figures a year, which is really low. It's $2,000 a week. I mean, you make $2,000 a week, it's $104,000 a year, right? But everybody wants to make 6 figures in 1 week.
That's right. That's the problem.
That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say to that guy who's watching it and he wants to diversify? He's been in the stock market. He can't get ahead in that. He's tried stock market trading. He's tried futures trading, currency trading. He's got tweets coming in, tweets coming out, moving the market 500 points each direction. His head's on a swivel. He can't take it anymore. He wants to do this. He gets off work, the games start, and he wants to make a wager. What should he literally have as his mountain to start?
Well, to start with, if you're not in our VIP section, you got to have at least a $5,000 bankroll. If you're not in the VIP section, you got to look at it as a business. You got to say to yourself, if I was going to open up a business tomorrow, how much a small business that really didn't have any inventory, how much should I drop into a checking account? $5,000 is the number. $5,000 to start with. And then when you move into my VIP section, you got to go into the $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 bankroll. Because
so that guy that calls me up and says, look, I was with Dom's regular place. I made a little killing because he overbet, obviously.
Yeah.
He get high. And then he goes, and I said, well, what can you bet again? And it's they always, if I win. Well, I can bet 500 or 1,000 if I win. So he's basically telling me he doesn't have a bankroll.
No,
he's saying Hail Mary.
Yeah,
right?
and you can't do that, man. When a guy who wants to bet $500 on a game, he's got to have at least a $50,000 bankroll. It's got to be. It just has to be. If you don't have that, you can't bet $500 a game. But
Well, you just go broke.
Right. Because you're not going to win every week. Everybody knows you're not going to win every week. I mean, anybody that says, like I just saw some video today, I'm 125-3. Well, he's a fucking chaser. It's a chase system.
Right.
And chasing martingales are never going to work. Anyway, I digress.
And you can prove that with the math.
Yeah, I can. And those are the sort of things that get me crazy. If you don't have to bet $500.
You didn't see the video from 123-0?
123-3, I think he said he was. Anyway, that's the guy that did the thing on Showtime about some jerk off that he is. But anyway, the deal is this. When a guy calls me up, I get this asked about me at craps always as well. How much can I make? Well, how much you make is how much of a bankroll you have. If you don't have a $50,000 bankroll, you're not going to make $200,000 this year. There's just no way. But that doesn't mean this isn't right for you. This means that when I started as a blackjack player 45 years ago, I was playing 50 cent
When I was
games.
one.
Yeah, when you were one.
Right.
I was playing 50-cent games in Vegas. I mean, in Atlantic City. Now, I'm playing $100, $200 game at the places I can still play at. So, you got to start at a certain level and you got to play to your bankroll. And the idea is this. Number one, it's tax-free money. We all know that. It's tax-free money. You've got all these casinos that are opening now with the sports book. If you make $1,000 a week gambling, advantage playing sports book, that's like making an additional $1,800 a week in your salary. I mean, and that's what I try to tell people. Think about it realistically. If you bring home $1,000 extra a week for doing nothing, it's like bringing home another $1,800.
So I want to close this video with this because the insights that you give, you tell it like it is, which I think people need to be smacked up side of the head with a little bit of that reality.
I said that to my wife today, by the way, at dinner.
What's that?
She asked me something about dinner, and I said the dinner sucked. And she said,
You're not diplomatic.
The last dinner, was sucked too. You thought was terrible. What's wrong with you? And I said, look, if you're going to ask me a question, I'm going to give you a straight answer. If you don't want to hear my straight answer, then don't ask me the question. And I say this to my students. I say this to my clients in sports books. If you want to ask me a question, expect that I'm going to hit you right between the eyes the way I feel. That's
so
the end of
I
the
want to
story.
ask you a question to close this video.
Yeah.
What this is the little pet peeve that I have all the time, which is a guy wins and he's a credit dealing with a credit shop. He's not going to get paid till next week, and it's now Saturday, and he's up $10 in his credit account. And I tell the guy, look, there's really nothing worth betting. Just take the money and run. And then, of course, he calls me on Tuesday. He says he went broke because he was pressing the house's money.
Yeah.
It's not the house's money. The minute you win, it's your money.
That is so true.
Right.
That is so true. You know, I see this in craps
The
all
chips
the
in
time.
front of you at the crap table, right?
In craps all the time anyways. I see videos on craps, just as a side note. A guy says, okay, you know what, you put $10 on the pass line and you set for a 7, throw a 7, now you got $20. Just press it up again another full way. And now you're up to $40 because you're playing with the casino money.
Right.
No, you're not, pal. Once you win that $10, you're
yours.
playing with your money. And when you put $20 back on the line, it's your money. It's not the casino's money. You won that for the casino. Was the casino going to be nice to you when you lose and say, hey, mistake, keep the money? No, it's your money. And that's the way you got to play it. And the way I try to tell people is this: whatever bankroll you're going to start with, we're going to use compound interest on it. And so that every week, every 2 weeks, you're going to reevaluate your bankroll. You're going to go to 2% of that bankroll. And maybe this week, it's $100 a game. But if we have a good week, it's going to be $110 a game next week. Another $10, fine. But the way banks make money on compound interest is the way we're going to make money on compound interest. We're going to keep on looking at our bankroll every week and a half, adjust our bankroll, adjust our individual unit wager every week, and eventually by the end of the year, we're going to be making $300 or $400 bets because we're doing the right thing.
So-
and then we're going to cash out at the end of fall, the end of football, Super Bowl, and say, holy fuck. Now give yourself an attaboy.
So-
You did a great job, just to finish it. You did a great job. Give yourself a little pat on the back for the discipline you had, and go buy your wife a nice little diamond bracelet of sorts. Buy that 72-inch color TV that you wanted. Say to yourself, you know, I did a good job. I had discipline. I followed the advice properly, and I'm going to spend some of that money.
So what you just heard and what I just heard was what you really need to hear as opposed to what you want to hear. Because it's not, look, you're a lot of things, but let's agree on one thing. Sexy's not one of them, right? It's not sexy what you just said.
No.
But this can be a life changer in the bottom line of your bankroll. Do you want sexy? Do you want him to pull up in a Lamborghini? Do you want me to put him in a fancy suit with a silk scarf? Or do you want to hear a guy 66 years old? He started playing the games when I was 1.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, there is something to be said for not only being older, but being able to maintain the longevity and success in his business. So again, if you want to come in from the outside, as I like to say on my videos, you want to come into the inside, you want to take advantage of his VIP place, and you want to treat it as a home-based business where, like he says, you literally have to do nothing. That's one of the issues, is that he's not going to tell you how. He's not going to tell you why. You're not paying for the how and why. This little misnomer of teach a guy how to fish and he can fish forever, you can't do that in sports betting. The information changes every day with injury reports. And then when you get to college football and NFL football, as opposed to basketball, and even with baseball, you have weather reports. And then as we live on the East Coast side of the tracks, the weather changes. I mean, here it's hot, there it's hot. It's not going to be hot in November. You're going to have some places where it's 100 degrees on a football game. You're going to have places where it's snowing.
Yeah. 20 degrees below.
Same day,
Yeah.
depending upon where you are in the country. So again, watch this video a few times if you have to. Pick up the phone, make the call, inquire about getting access to our VIP program. And like he said, you don't really have to do anything, but what you do have to do, which is something, is just simply keep you from making the mistakes of not following the program.
That's right.
You know, that's it. This is your August 2019 report. Let's make it a very profitable 2019-2020 season.